meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Save hundreds of dollars on Cub Cadet zero-turn mowers, only at your local dealer. Big savings are now through June 30th on select Ultima Series steering wheel zero turns and lap bar zero turns. Visit Colby Ag Center LC, your local Cub Cadet dealer in Colby, Kansas today. Offer valid May 14, 2026 to June 30, 2026. Participating Cub Cadet dealers in the U.S. only and at cubcadet.com for shipments for 48 contiguous states. Prices may vary by retailer, may not be combined with any other discount or offer, and does not apply to prior or future purchases. Discount does not apply to tax or shipping and handling. Other restrictions apply. See special Cub Cadet offer and discounts for details. Void where prohibited.
Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland is rolling into summer with big offers on new GMCs. Get a 26 GMC Sierra 15-head elevation with $7,000 customer cash with trade-in or 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. Need heavy duty? Get the 26 GMC Sierra 2500 with $1,000 in rebates or 4.9% for 48 months. Plus save on 26 GMC Terrain and Arcadias with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas or online at earlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Lucas Kenny. With the amount of severe weather that's been received in the local area these last few days, train stoppages are bound to happen, leaving roadways flooded. When navigating around these storms, the Kansas Division of Emergency Management wants to remind everyone to never drive into floodwaters. Statistics show that over 50% of flood fatalities are vehicle-related. If the area is blocked off, don't drive around the barricades into a flooded roadway. You can find a graphic from the Kansas Division of Emergency Management on our local news page. In other news, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a boil water advisory for the city of Long Island public water supply system located in Phillips County. Customers should observe a few precautions until further notice. The advisory took effect on June 22nd and will remain in effect until the conditions that place the system at risk are relieved. For more information on these local stories, visit nwksradio.net.
This morning, patchy fog will gradually give way to partly sunny skies. Highs this afternoon will peak near 78 with southeast winds picking up to 10 to 20, gusting to 30 miles per hour. Late this afternoon and early evening, a line of storms coming off the Front Range may reach the Colorado-Kansas border area west of Highway 25, carrying a marginal severe risk for isolated large hail and strong winds. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a south breeze around 10 miles per hour, lows around 63. Tomorrow, sunshine and intense heat begins. Highs will spike to 94 with brisk south-southwesterly winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour and low relative humidities, possibly elevating fire weather conditions. Overnight will be mostly clear with a warm, steady south breeze, lows around 65. And then Sunday, sunshine and intense heat holds with highs in the middle to upper 90s. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Your backyard called, and it said it's tired of being ignored. Give it the summer glow up it deserves with NWKS Radio's Rock the Block. Win a live DJ party, a barbecue for up to 50 people, a cooler packed with drinks, and a brand new grill and cooler that is yours to keep. Visit participating sponsors, scan the QR code, and enter daily. Text ROCK to 785-460-0790 for more information. Rock the Block, because every neighborhood needs one legendary party.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
From drive-through banking to mobile deposit, we make it easy to get things done on your schedule. Banking should fit your life, not the other way around. This is Jessica Von Lintel at F&B Bank. Banking made simple.
In a small town, your banker should know more than just your account number. They should know your name. At F&B Bank, we believe in real conversations, friendly faces, and decisions made right here at home. I'm Paige Sneathen, Vice President at F&B Bank, and we're proud to serve your family like our own. Member FDIC.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink. Literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
Here's a bright idea. Don't buy the cheapest TP. It's not worth it. You know what is worth it? IdeaTek high-speed fiber internet. IdeaTek delivers seamless high-speed connectivity, and it won't disintegrate at just the worst possible moment. Don't go single-ply when it comes to your connectivity. Go fast and reliable. Reliability and quality, another bright idea from IdeaTek. Get high-speed IdeaTek fiber internet at ideatek.com.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Garrett Wellbrock.
Who's got it better than us?
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodlands Rocket 102.5 KLOE and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
Caglione hits it high in the air, deep center field. Dunn springs back at the fence. It's gone! A 2-run blast for Jack Caglione.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
IdeaTek Fiber Internet, Topside Portables and Pumping, The Insurance Agency, Pest Away, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinner, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work. On the payoff pitch. Swinging a shot, Heidi drive down the left field line. Can he straighten it out? And it is going to be out of here. Home run. Caleb Durbin. Red Sox do indeed take the lead. Fly ball left field. That's hit well. Lyles going back toward the wall. Gone! Opposite field. 2-run home run. Bryce Harper. The 9th inning magic strikes again.
Ball's knocked down. Fall-up shot is a goal! And Sebastian Berhalter, who ties the game, and he wants more. Chance for a cross, comes back to the top of the box. Now it's clipped in at the backside. Matt Turner, it's snapped home. Turkey score the winning goal in the 98th minute.
Hey, happy Friday morning, everybody. We are back on the Morning Blitz. Ross Volkmer, Garrett Wellbrock with you here on Rocket 102.5 KLOE and WKSradio.net. The Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Glad you're with us here on this Friday morning. Did you happen to stay up late, watch the heartbreaker there for the U.S. last night?
I did not, no. I couldn't stay up that late. I wish I started that game a little earlier, but, you know, it is what it is.
I was able to make my way through that and watch that disappointing in there for the U.S. who were on the press. Well, actually, they weren't on the precipice. I shouldn't say that. When the game started, they were on the precipice of possibly going 3-0 for the first time in group stage. But that was not the case. Turkey was they were the more aggressive team last night. And I don't know how you handle that if you're a squad. You know, if you're the U.S., you're like, well, we're 2-0. We're top of the group. And we know who we're playing, and we know where we're playing and what we're playing. We know all this stuff. Our fate is already decided. So what does it matter if we win or we lose? I mean, I don't know how you handle that as a coach, as a player. It's got to be some real, like, how do I want to say this? It's got to be like some really good, motivational tactics to get your guys ready to roll.
Yeah, I heard that there was, they weren't really playing like all their guys necessarily. I wouldn't say like resting them up, but also you don't want to have an injury. Same thing with like yellow cards. I had heard that, they've had some yellow cards earlier in the tournament. They don't want to have one in the, second half because possibly, miss a half in the knockout stage. So yeah, it's tough, but it's also you're playing Turkey, who obviously has already been eliminated. They can't make it into the knockout stage. So they're just playing with house money at that point. I mean, it doesn't matter for them what happens, and obviously they gave their best, and USA didn't give their best, and that's what happens.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look like the U.S. was playing. Once again, they didn't play their top players until the last, maybe 25, 30 minutes of the match. And so, once again, it was all about, it could have been some history for the U.S. Could have been the first time they ever went 3-0 in the group stage, but it did not happen. And so the U.S. Doesn't matter. They still will play Wednesday, coming up here on Wednesday, July 1st, it's the knockout stage, first round. They get Bosnia-Herzegovina. I think I said that right this time. But they play them starting on Wednesday, July 1st, as the U.S. in the next round of the World Cup. But we're off and rolling on a Friday show. F&B Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. If you got thoughts, comments, questions, opinions, we are ready to roll on all of that. Let's see here. Jared H. already chiming in with a thought on the F&B Bank text line from last night's Sox. So the U.S. just sat back, played for a tie game in stoppage time. Turkey was playing to win. Simple as that. I would agree, Jared. I would agree on that. Today's program, we are going to be visiting with Yancey Walker. Colby High School girls basketball coach will join the program. He's a part of a huge week that's been happening. I want to say it's a week, end of a week at the Colby Event Center. Have this big summer time. I don't want to call it a tournament per se, but kind of like a get together. I don't know.
Maybe like a team camp type thing.
I don't know if it's even a team camp. I guess we could say that, but it's where you come together and you play. I think you scrimmage against a lot of teams. I think that's how it is. But Yancey Walker is going to join us. We'll talk to him about that, his experience this summer, and with Colby girls basketball. We'll have a good discussion with him. Always love his sarcasm and wit is always invited on this show. So we'll have him on in segment 2. We have our picks of the weekend. We are back. It's getting tougher for Garrett to find games for us to pick, but we will find a way to pick some games for you here in the back end of the program. But let's kick off the show with our first segment here. 5 for 5 is a go. For those who don't know, what the heck is 5 for 5? Well, the NCAA panel has officially confirmed that a 5-year eligibility rule is now going to be the way we do things in college. So it used to be that, as of just last year, you had 4 years to play. If you came in as a freshman, you could play for 4 years. That was the original rule. Now there were some stipulations with that. If you got injured, for example, you could have a medical red shirt. If you had another hardship, you could get another red shirt for that. You could just red shirt or anything like that right out. You weren't developed enough. You weren't ready to play. Maybe you needed a year to get your grades in order. You could red shirt a year there and then come in and play as a red shirt freshman or sophomore, something like that. So you could work your way to be around for 5 years with a red shirt year. And then, of course, these last few years, we've seen a whole bunch of guys play 5 years, 6 years, some guys getting into 7 years because of injuries and pleading with the NCAA to get back and be able to play. And it's just gotten completely out of hand. And so the NCAA I'll give the NCAA credit. They are starting to get the toothpaste that is just shot all over the mirror. They're starting to kind of clean it up a little bit. You kind of get the feeling that they're trying to do some cleanup of the mess that has been college athletics for the last 5 years or so. They're starting to kind of get some cleanup. So they're now going to do a 5-year eligibility rule, which means you have 5 years to play sports. So now you can play all 5 years if you're healthy enough. But if you blow out your knee or if you have another injury in 2 of those, you're only going to play for 3 years. You have 5 years to play. And of course, there's been a lot of controversy, especially at the basketball level, about guys coming back from the NBA who didn't make it and then trying to play more college basketball because they weren't eligibility. Well, once you play 1 year of college, that's when your clock starts. And you have 5 years from that. You cannot go play for college for a year, go play the NBA, and then come back. That's not how that works. You have 5 years to play your sport. And then after that, you are done. Are you a fan of this rule, or do you like the old way better, Garrett?
No, I absolutely love this new rule. I mean, there was so much chaos in college athletics before this thing got passed. I remember when I was playing, college baseball, there was like 24, 25-year-olds on the team, and I was like 19. And it's just the disparity there. I mean, that's a grown man playing with me. I mean, I know I was 19, technically an adult, but I wasn't who I am today. And same thing goes for a lot of athletes now. It's so wild. And then you see like even older than 25, you got 27-year-olds sometimes that are somehow finding ways. Was it that Oregon player, maybe like Miami? I think he went to both. He was a tight end. He played for like 9 years.
Yes.
Like, how does that even work? I love this rule. And a great example, what you said. I mean, there's been no rules at all for a little bit of time now, and there's a lot going on in college athletics. This is finally a rule that I really like and I can get behind for sure. And, the red shirt thing, you get rid of it. But I don't think it's that big of a deal at all. I mean, if you're a freshman and you aren't, ready to play in red, the quote unquote red shirt now is just your freshman season, but now you can at least get into some games. I know they've had that rule where you could play a little bit, but now you get that again, basically, or you don't play at all, and it's really not going to hurt you.
I think that you're talking about kind of in football, for example. I know in basketball, I think it's like a percentage, but in football, it's the 4-game rule. Like as a freshman or as a guy, you could come in and play 4 games. And if you don't play any more than 4, you can keep your red shirt. In this case, the red shirt rule was still available. So you could play up to 4 games and even in a bowl game and not burn your red shirt. Now it's just like, well, now you can play 5 or 6 games. It doesn't matter. You can play 2 games. It doesn't matter. This year is going to count. It's all, instead of having these log jams where you have in the previous years where you're seeing guys just hang around and hang around and hang around. Now you're finally getting guys that are, you're forcing guys to move on with your life, do something else, whether it's professional or get into some other sort of career. But, move on with your life. I'm with you 100%. They're starting to kind of put some guardrails up on some rules here, and it's good to see because I think this needs to happen. We need to get more players. The coaches have to like it too, because I think they get tired of guys hanging around longer, because this does impact. We're going to talk about this a little bit. It really does impact 2 key pieces, I think, in my opinion. It impacts 2 really big key pieces going forward. It impacts, number one, of course, the players that are there. So there are, I think Avery Johnson falls into this category, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
He does, yes.
Avery Johnson played as a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior. But Avery Johnson is still able. He's able, if he, after this senior year, doesn't want to go pro because he's not liking what he sees, or he wants to come back for the year. Maybe they want to chase they have a great first year and they want to chase a national championship or a playoff spot with Coach Klein. If that's how great it becomes, then he has the ability to come back for next year. He gets that 5th year. And there's lots of players that are like this, that are in that boat, that get a chance to possibly come back. And it's great, I'm guessing, from the coach's perspective, because they can keep it's all about getting older anyway. At the college level, you want to get old, you want to stay old. Well, having another year of eligibility for some of these guys, getting old and staying old makes it easier. And you get some of these key contributors possibly come back for one more year if they don't go in the draft where they'd like to. On a negative side of things, though, this is going to greatly impact, once again, high school recruiting and high school players, because there are limitations on roster sizes now in college sports. And so, and particularly in football, but there's always limitations on how many people you can take. And of course, all these certain people have to get paid. There's only so much budget to go around. And so there's going to be a lot of high school players that might be on the fringe, of possibly getting a Division I scholarship. We'll use that as an example. Might not get it. They might be going down to Division II or Division III or going to the JUCO ranks to play their first few years, because this is going to hurt them and impact them quite a bit. Had you thought about that point yet?
Yeah, it's kind of been a hot topic. I do think what you're saying, it's true to the high school players. It hurts them in a way, but it also in a way can help them a little bit too, because they are eliminating like the 24 to 26-year-old players. Those aren't going to be a thing anymore. And so the roster size is the roster size, but I think it's a kind of a contrast. It does hurt them, but I think it can help them a little bit too.
I mean, I can get that. I mean, but I'm saying those guys that are on the fringe. Mm-hmm. The guys and girls that are on the fringe of possibly being they could be one of the last few taken on a Kansas State roster or something like that, or a KU roster, and they're getting looked at. But hey, we don't have the room for you. We're keeping some of these guys are sticking around for a 5th year, and like I said, it's going to impact. I personally think for just a couple years here, and then I think it will smooth out. At least I think it will, because you're going to get in the cycle of, well, every 5 years we're going to lose a class, and so I think that's going to help some over the course of time. But I think initially here, if you are a coach and you've been out recruiting for this 2027 class, and you just learned that the group of seniors that you were recruiting to replace could come back, all of a sudden you're like, all right, hold on a minute here. We may not be able to take you right now. Sorry about that. That could be the case.
Yeah.
It could possibly be the case.
And that's something that, it's really unfortunate, especially for the kids, because it's like, you had so much expectations. You're going to, come to some program, and then they have to kind of cut ties with you. And then it's kind of a scramble drill wherever you end up. And that's where we're seeing like the junior college route be a very hot topic right now. A lot of great athletes are going there, taking their 2 years and then finding somewhere after that. And I tell you what, that's been what I see a lot of, like, especially these Kansas kids doing right now because of the limited roster size.
One other thing that stands out to me, if we've seen this a little bit already of because of roster sizes and people sticking around, the COVID year really did this. We saw this happen in the COVID year. There were guys that possibly could have been recruited to go play at certain programs, didn't get the opportunity to because they just didn't have the space because guys were getting that extra COVID year to hang around. This is going to be a little bit like this for just a few years. But once again, I think once they kind of smooth everything out and you get in a cycle where it's every 5 years, we know what we're going to replace. I think it's going to be better. Now, it will be hard as a coach to recruit because, you could look at your roster. Okay, we have 20 seniors on our class here. But of those 20, we could have 4 guys possibly come back out of that 20. Or maybe it's 10 of the 20 that's going to come back. So how do you recruit? You don't know when the season begins. And the recruiting process starts, a whole over year in advance. It's going to be hard for coaches to kind of manage that a little bit at times.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. It's just the life of a college, any sport coach. Not fun, really, dealing with all the eligibility rules.
So you were talking about Kansas. You were reading stuff about Kansas State and how this could impact their roster. What stands out to you about how K-State football could be impacted by this new 5-year eligibility rule the NCAA is going to push forward?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they have so many guys that qualify for this. K-State, yes, they've lost a lot of guys in the transfer portal, but they've also kept quite a few. I mean, Avery Johnson, for example, being one of them. It's like he's probably had the opportunity, especially after these last couple of seasons, or especially last season where they went 6-6, where he could have been like, I don't want any part of this anymore. I want to go. And he stayed. He stuck around. Running back Joe Jackson, he's going to be I believe the starter this year because, he kind of took over when Dylan Edwards had his, whole deal last season. And I think he's going to be the starter this season. He's got another year if he wants to take this. For example, they've got 2 transfers coming in, one from Missouri, one from Virginia Tech that are in the same boat. I think they're both defensive backs. But like those guys, they'll come in. They're going to be seniors this year. They'll have that 5th year if they choose to. They got a couple other options. I think K-State is, compared to a lot of the other teams in the Big 12, is really going to benefit from this if a lot of these guys take that 5th year.
Well, like I mentioned earlier in this segment, getting old and staying old is very, very important. You want to get old, you want to stay old. You don't want to be out there playing with a bunch of freshmen, sophomores, things of that sort. So you don't want to do that. So it's a big thing. It'll be a big help for a lot of teams, particularly if, once again, like I said, if K-State comes out here and year one of Colin Klein ends up going, let's say they win 9 games and they're sniffing the college football playoff. You might be able to convince a lot of these guys to come back for the year saying, well, now we're going to go for that CFP spot. You could really do that. And there's a lot of teams that could do that as well. I know Nebraska is another team that's kind of like Kansas State. They have, a transfer quarterback, a bunch of transfer offensive linemen that came in that with this 5th year of eligibility thing, they could come back again if they wanted to. And I think Kansas State and a lot of teams are like that, where they have some guys that could be some impactful players that could be back for 2 years. And that's a huge part for continuity of your roster and of your team. Could be a very big part.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially this year, it's going to be a lot of new faces for Kansas State. I mean, when you think about it, even the returners, everything's going to be new for the most part with Colin Klein. But like to your point, if they were to have a good year, and which we think that they probably will, the way their schedule looks right now, at least, that could be something. I mean, this will definitely be another topic next summer or next spring, probably, when we're deciding who's going to be coming back and who's leaving, either for the NFL draft or who's just calling it a career.
Yeah. Jared H., FB Bank text line 785-899-2222 says, this rule doesn't apply to JUCO schools, correct? I don't know. I don't know if there's a rule. I've seen a ruling on that yet, Jared, to be honest with you. I know there were rules where if you went and played JUCO, that did not count towards your eligibility. I had heard things about that. I don't know if that's going to be the case, or I have not seen anything on that. As far as I know, 2 years of JUCO count towards 2 out of your 5 years, in my opinion. So here's the question before we get to break and bring on Yancey Walker. What do you call that fifth-year guy? You know, you have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. What do we call? Are we making it? Are we going to have a name for the pre-freshman, or are we going to have? Or is it going to be super senior? Well, what do you think? Where do you think we should go with that name?
That's what I was thinking too this morning. I was like, what are they going to call this? I don't know. Haven't they usually call like the fifth-year senior like a graduate senior, I think.
Grad senior, yeah.
They'll probably just do that, but maybe they should come up with another, like after senior, let's make something, you know?
I'm guessing fifth-year senior is probably my guess. Fifth-year senior is probably got fifth-year senior starting quarterback Avery Johnson under center today. You know, something along those lines. That's how I could see that being the case. I don't know. So the texter chimes in, Grandpa. Juniors, a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, Grandpa.
I like it. Put just GR. Right there.
Maybe Unk. We call Unk.
Unk.
The Unk. He's an Unk. Anyway, we'll see what happens going forward. It's an interesting situation, but 5 for 5 looks to be a go across college athletics. It's going to impact a lot of sports. You're going to see some other, like we've mentioned before, guys like, and a very good example of that, once again, is Avery Johnson, with a guy who's played a lot of college football, who was going into his senior year this year, now has a chance to get 2 more years of college football if he chooses to do so. And hopefully this is going to help. And so they've got this year thing taken out. Now that they can just get the transfer portal figured out, they've really taken down 2 really big pillars with problems in college athletics.
You know, you mentioned the JUCO thing where you could play 2. We think it's 2 years and it counts. If it doesn't count, I feel like you're just back to square one, though. Am I wrong there?
No, you would be right.
Because it's like, well, you're still going to have 25, 26-year-olds playing college football, college athletics that have been in their 7th years, just at a different route, not NCAA. So I really hope it does count.
Like I said, I haven't read anything. I don't think that's the way it's going to be. I think you have 5 years to play college athletics, 5 years to do it, and do that. Jared H says, another question, how will this affect grad transfers? I think the simple thing is, people, is that whenever you start your college career, whenever you start it, and I know there's some sort of rules in there about, you know, whenever it's your 19th birthday or something like that, there's an age thing in there too. But I know that there's kind of some loopholes because, you know, if you go like to BYU and you have your missions and stuff, you're going to start a little bit later. But once again, once you start your college career, it's 5 years. You get 5 years. That's what you get. So you can graduate in you should graduate in 4 years. You should be able to graduate in 4 years, and then you have that 5th year if you want to. So it's 5 years. No matter from when you start, you get 5 years. No matter if you're grad transfer, a grandpa, a super senior, a 5th year senior, doesn't matter. 5 years. 5 years to play 5 years. Doesn't matter if you get hurt in 3 of those years. 5 years to play 5 years. The new 5 for 5 rule. All right, let's get to break. Right at the bottom of the hour, 7:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central Time on a Friday. Expect another cool day today. Cooler day today, I should say. Temperatures in the 80s before we spring back into the upper 90s and even triple digits for the weekend. Let's get to a break. We'll come back, and we will visit with Yancey Walker next. This is the Morning Blitz.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas, with your morning market update. It's Friday, June 26th, the overnight session. July corn down 2 1/4 at 412.5. September down 1 3/4 at 422.5. December down a penny at 442. Soybeans on the July down 6 3/4 at 1120 3/4. November down 7 3/4 at 1149 1/4. KC wheat on the July down 11 1/4 at 609 1/4. September down 11 at 619.5. December down 10 3/4 at 635. Chicago wheat down 11.5, 579.5. Feeder cattle finished yesterday 373.30. Live cattle 257.40. Lean hogs 92.70. Crude oil futures down 247 a barrel at 69.45. Gold futures either side of unchanged 4,145.30. Silver 66.25.5. U.S. dollar index down 30 points at 187.5. Dow futures down 98 at 52,241. S&P futures down 38, 7,384. If you need to move any cash, green, or want to talk about risk management, reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Fuller, or Tyler Dish, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hanke, John Styles, at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
FMC retailer or elevest.ag.fmc.com. Elevest insect control is a restricted use pesticide. Always read and follow all label directions.
At Thrasher Foundation Repair, we promise you an experience so remarkable, you'll want to leave us a 5-star review. From wet basements to bowing walls, sinking concrete to nasty crawl spaces, whatever your home's facing, you can count on Thrasher to fix it right. With over 34,000 5-star reviews and 50 years as a local family-owned company, Thrasher is a name homeowners trust. Schedule your free home inspection today at gothrasher.com.
From the locker room to your morning commute, it's all sports, all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Sport!
On the Morning Blitz.
All right, we're rolling along on a Friday show, last show of the week. Don't forget, of course, coming up tomorrow, it is the Colin Ray concert. Garrett and I and Lucas and many other crew were over there getting things set up for that yesterday. We're back again today doing more setup stuff. So Colin Ray, get your tickets at the door or anywhere online, NWKSradio.net. Also, before we get to our guest of the day, I can't even speak this morning. I did get a message on the text messages, FB Bank text line, from a listener who was talking about the app not working. We're having some technical issues here at the radio stations of NWKS Radio because of all the storms. We've had one computer completely bite the dust. And that was an on-air computer. We've had another computer for the streaming and stuff really be struggling to get going. And so there's and then of course we have this concert going on all week, and it's been a challenge to get that all put together. So we're working our way through that. We hope to have all this stuff back up and running very shortly. Let's welcome to the program our guest, Colby High School girls basketball coach Yancey Walker joins us now. Coach, good morning. How we doing?
Hey, above average. How are you?
Doing well. Coach, we were discussing right off the top of the show about this event that's going on in Colby, a team camp. I don't know, what would you call the event going on in Colby at the Colby Event Center these last couple of days with all the basketball happening there?
It's the Oasis Shootout. And this year I think we had 66 teams. 2 years ago we had 78 teams. Last year we had 73. It's and that's boys and girls together. And we just have 4 days of a lot of basketball. Usually Monday, Tuesday is boys, and then the second 2 days, however it falls, is the girls. And we had a team from Texas. We had a team from South Dakota. We've had teams from Wyoming in the past. It's just it's good for the community, which I really enjoy because, especially in today's times, having a business is not an easy thing to do. So when we can bring people to the community and spend some dollars, then I think that's certainly a positive thing, and hopefully it has a positive impact for a lot of our business owners here in Colby. But the other part of it is the basketball side, and it's a lot of really good teams that don't ever play each other except for in the Oasis shootout. So have had, I believe, 2 or 3 between the boys and the girls, 2 or 3, maybe 4 get scholarships out of being here. We've had several state champions, several state qualifiers be here and play in the summer. So it's a pretty neat little event to get people from all different walks of life and all different areas to come and play a little basketball in Colby, America.
Real quickly, how quickly and how hard was it to, or challenging? You talk about kind of getting this, because like you said, it's been going on for the last couple of years, and I'm sure it's gotten smoother as many years have gone on. But to get this thing up and going off the ground, what were the challenges of getting it going initially, and to see where it's grown from then to now?
Well, so I wouldn't recommend this for anybody, but the first year we had it, I sent the emails out, and that year I didn't send as many emails out. I had to acquire emails over the years, and so I would say that was probably the hardest part. Was just I send out, I think, over 5,200 emails several times during the year, and Gmail limits how many you can send, so you have to schedule them and everything else. So part of that is time consuming, but so hopefully each school gets about 6 emails inviting them to it, but it's 5,200 emails to New Mexico. I got to work from the west, so New Mexico, and then West Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas. I already said Oklahoma, and we're not going to count them twice. And then Missouri. So every one of those schools gets emails from me, and that invites them to come be in the shootout. And there's not postage involved, so it doesn't cost anything to send the email, and it might get deleted right away, but it might not, and you don't know if you don't ask. But back to what I wouldn't recommend is the first year we had 54 teams. And that was the year I had heart surgery in March. So that slowed things down just a little bit. And that was probably the most taxing thing. But then since then, I've had some hangnails here and there, but I haven't had any major issues other than that. So it helps out that we have a lot of returning teams, and it helps out that they get to play teams they don't see. Even in Colorado, we had some Colorado teams play each other that never see each other, and they're not that far apart, and they're not that different in enrollment. So just kind of an interesting situation. The Goodland boys played the team from South Dakota this year, and that was a great game. I think that was a one-possession game, and I think it was the last game for both teams. So it might even gone to overtime. So it's just a good event for people for teams to come in and see other teams. And then the other thing that really helps it out is, and if you see me during games, then you're not going to believe the next thing I'm going to say, but I've tried to grow up and be better as we go. We have great officials come and help at the Oasis shootout. And that makes all the difference in the world, because if somebody gets hurt, they get hurt on a basketball play or a freak thing. It's not so rough that people are getting shoved into the bleachers, or it's not an MAYB tournament or anything like that. It's controlled. I have a lot of former players that officiate, and they do a good job. I've got a lot of certified officials that come and help out, and that makes it go smoother. And we have people that come, they'll send me a text that says, I can officiate from this time to this time. I need a break here. And and it helps out tremendously. And their willingness to help out makes it even that much better because they see the value of it. I would like to get it officials wise. I would like to get it to where it's almost a mentorship situation. But that would take, some state involvement and this and that and the other. So I don't know where we would ever get with that, but that's what I would like to get to because officials are getting harder and harder to get. And so if there's a way we could help build it, we would certainly want to do that. And then I would also like to be able to say to an official, like, hey, you got your start at the Oasis shootout. Let's get that call right, because I'm that type of person.
We know
Just
you
kidding.
are. No, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a question just kind of about.
But in all seriousness, I do want to correct that. I do think if there was a way, to help build the officials, especially in this area, because people are driving from over by Hayes to do games for us when they wouldn't necessarily have to if we could build up our officials base.
I got a question
Anyway,
about kind of the
serious question. Yeah.
the just like the quality of basketball at this tournament, or not tournament, I guess, but like this event. Just so many great quality programs coming to Colby. Like, how fun is it to just watch like high level basketball throughout the summer?
Well, I don't get to watch as much as I would like to. The boys, I get to maybe watch a little bit more. We play in it, so and we always play on the same court so that I know at least the court, and I don't always know the time. Well, you make the schedule, don't you? Yes, but that doesn't matter. I always know the court that we're playing on. And so, but yes, there were a lot of really close ball games, and we don't stop the clock unless the game is within 10 points in the last 2 minutes. And the other thing that the officials like, and then the coaches like it too, most of them, not everybody, you can't please everybody, but we have a system, and I stole it from the University of Nebraska team camp when we were up there. If the defense fouls, the offense gets a point. So all of a sudden you've given up 5 points. Well, you got to adjust how you're guarding to have success. Otherwise you're just going to keep giving up points. So, like the Strasburg coach from Colorado, they won a state championship last year, and he was talking about how much he likes that. So, and other coaches have commented on that as well. So that certainly makes it better. And I think it's just a treat for everybody that enjoys basketball to be able, and there's some blowouts, which we try to avoid like crazy. So each team, when they send their stuff in, they rank themselves as far as the coaches do. And so I have to go off of how they feel about things. And then the other thing you don't know is, so like, I know nothing about South Dakota basketball. I know Jeff Boschee played up there. Other than that, I don't know anything about it. I think Mike Miller might have played up there too.
He did.
Anyway, there you go.
He did play up there.
I knew
the Corn Palace.
Yeah, I knew more than I thought. Look at that. So anyway, I have no idea what a school with an enrollment of around 200 kids. I don't have the first idea what their competition's like up there. So when he sends in and he ranks himself, then I've got to put him against other teams that rank themselves similarly and go from there. But our approach is we're okay bleeding in the summer because that way we can use it to get better and things like that. And most coaches are that way. They don't mind a loss because it's the summer and they can use it to get better. And like we went to the Oral Roberts team camp, and it was that exact situation. The girls were a little faster, a little bit longer, and any success that we had to be better than we would have normally. And so I think anytime we can put people in situations to get better, it's just a great thing for teams and everything else.
Yancey Walker is our guest, Colby High School girls basketball coach. We're talking about their summer, and of course, including the Oasis shootout that's going on currently now at the event center there in Colby. How many games does a team get when they come? How many games total?
Five predetermined games. And we've made some adjustments along the way. If a team is really struggling, or if they're a 1A team out of somewhere I've never heard of, but they're really, really good, we'll adjust it and maybe a team's struggling, and so we'll just switch from time to time. But they get 5 predetermined games, and you know, it might be a team from South Dakota, it might be a Colorado team, and it might be you know, just from wherever, but it's hopefully a team that they don't see during the regular season.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about your team, the Colby Lady Eagle basketball team here this summer. What has the work been like? How have you liked the progression you've seen thus far?
We've had to do a lot of learning on the fly, and they've done a pretty good job of that. We're a work in progress, but we're a work in progress every summer. No matter how many returners we have or how many returners we don't have, it's the same thing. Every group is even that year we didn't have any seniors, so we essentially had the same team 2 years in a row. Every year we're a work in progress, and there's things we can get better at. So we had to do a lot of learning from games. We didn't get to do as much learning from practice this summer, so we'd have some walkthroughs and stuff like that. You know, our girls are busy girls, and they have a lot going on. So, you know, instead of having full-fledged practices, we'd have walkthroughs with certain things we had to go over, or something that had hurt us in a game in the past or something like that. But, you know, it's when you don't have the timing of things down, then we have a lot of really good looks, but it's hard to get the timing of the passes. So as we move forward in November, I feel like when the timing is there, we'll have a lot of things that happen for us. And we're decent defensively, and we'll have to get better defensively as we go. And that'll hopefully always be the staple of what we do. And but we've got a group of young ladies that from the freshmen to the seniors that do a lot of good things, that have a lot of unique skills individually. And so we've just got to be able to mold them together and figure out the best way for them to have success. So I'm excited about it, and I like the challenge of it every year to figure out the best way to get everybody to perform their best and be exceptional at who they are. And this year's no different. So, to sit here and say, what do I think we're going to do here, there, and yonder? We play TMP first, so we'll figure out what TMP's got going on, and then we'll move on to Ulysses, and then we'll move on to the topside tip-off from there. So it'll be an exciting year, though. I think we've got a lot of young ladies with a lot of things that they can contribute.
Is there any certain player or two that you can maybe shout out that's really made a really big jump from just the end of your season last year to where they're at now here in the summer?
I think that each young lady has done something specific. Has one person jumped ahead or the other? I'd have to sit there and think about that a little bit longer, but I feel confident saying that each young lady, and again, in each class, seniors down to freshmen and freshmen up to seniors, has really done some good things this summer. Because like our JV team, we had play a varsity schedule, a small school varsity schedule in the shootout, and so that was impressive. And then our girls, the varsity, and then so when they played the varsity schedule, they didn't win every game, but they competed in every game. And then the varsity, when we went down to the Oral Roberts, we're playing teams that are, really physical, and different states are usually a lot more physical than we are. So to be able to adjust to that and still have success out of it, we are really a group that will depend on each other. I don't think we have one individual who, I think our leading scorer has a chance to be different a lot of different nights. And so to say that one person has made big jumps, I think they've all made a lot of big jumps. So it's been a lot of fun to see.
He is Yancey Walker, Colby Lady Eagle basketball coach. Big week this week over in Colby with the Oasis Shootout. Coach Walker, appreciate the time. I know you got somewhere to be here at the top of the hour, so thanks again for squeezing us in, and look forward to visiting with you down the road.
I'm actually sitting in the event center right now, and you were talking about how you were going to be over here to help set up.
Right.
I just want to know, what are you lifting when you get over here, or are you timing it just right?
What am I lifting?
What are you going to be lifting when you get over here? Because I mean, there's chairs to be put out, and I mean, this concert, you're going to have to get over here and get,
I will lift
grindstone.
anything. I'll lift anything. If I even have to lift you out of the way, I can do that too. We'll be perfectly fine. So,
all right. Well, the hospital is right across the street, so we're good. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Right. We'll be in great shape. Thank you, Coach, for the time. We'll see you later today.
Yeah, always appreciate you. Thank you.
Once again, great stuff there. Yancey Walker. Always appreciate his humor and sarcasm. Always appreciate that. All right, let's get to break. We'll come back. A quick and furious picks of the weekend to wrap up the week next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland is rolling. $1 customer cash with trade-in or 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. Need heavy duty? Get the 26 GMC Sierra 2500 with $1,000 in rebates or 4.9% for 48 months. Plus save on 26 GMC Terrain and Arcadias with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas or online at earlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
Your business was built right here. So was ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors for neighbors. We know what matters to you because it matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Where do the best memories happen? Not in the living room. They happen out back. Build the perfect backyard with patio furniture, fire pits, grills, and smokers from Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Then tackle that fence, new roof, or weekend building project with the quality lumber and materials you trust. Keep the grass green and work easy with Ultimate All-Season Lawn Fertilizer and Eco Cordless Power Outdoor Equipment. This summer, don't just stay home, make home the place everyone wants to be. With the help of Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby.
It's not just sports, it's your morning game plan.
I don't even believe you have a plan. I have part of a plan. That is not a plan.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Final segment of the week coming at you here on the Morning Blitz. Thanks again to Yancey Walker. As always, thanks to you, the listener, and the F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222 for keeping us company here on this Friday. Tell you what, 5 games. I tell you, what a great deal for Colby, in my opinion. You get those tournament, that summer deal. Teams from all around the middle central part of the U.S. coming to you. And getting to play a lot of basketball games against teams you never see and get a different feel, maybe learn some things. I mean, what a great thing to have. Always appreciate the sacrifice and the hard work that goes into putting those events together, because that's such a great team building opportunity. And for us here on the High Plains, not having to travel multiple hours to go do that is also a really big blessing as well.
Yeah, I remember one time I got the opportunity to do that going into my senior year of high school playing basketball. We went to Kansas City for a tournament. One of the best memories I've ever had playing. So I can guarantee all the teams that came here, they'll remember that for a long time.
Great team bonding is what you got there. That is for sure. All right, we got to get to picks of the weekend. All righty. Quickly, a recap. It's been a while. How did Lucas do for me? That's the real question.
Well, he didn't do too bad. I think he went like 6-4, but I had a really good week. I got 3 back on you, 3 games back. I went perfect in the soccer world because I just know so much about it. You
do, yes.
Yeah. But we'll have some more World Cup, so I had another chance to go undefeated here, and we'll start with that, actually. So, big game tonight. It's France versus Norway. Kind of a couple of heavy hitters there.
It is big-time heavy hitters. By the way, the Norway crowd has been fantastic. There have been some great crowds, and the Norway crowd is up there at the top with the big rowing thing.
Yes.
Pretty cool. I'm going with Kylian Mbappe and France. I'm going to take France in this.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think they're too much to handle. I love Norway, though. I do love Norway, but I got to go France in this one as well.
I mean, France is considered the favorite, I think, going into the tournament. I think they were.
Yeah, you would think so. Them or Argentina, probably.
Yeah, so, I'm going to go France.
All right, then we got another big, heavy favorite, Spain. They're taking on Uruguay.
Hard to go against Spain, so I'm going to go with Spain there. No offense to Uruguay. I'm going to go Spain here.
Yeah, both of these first two picks are 1-2s in their pool, so I kind of decides who will win this pool or I guess group. I'm going to go Spain as well. Spain to take this one. Moving on, Uzbekistan versus the DR Congo. Uzbekistan has to win to get into the knockout round. A tie does not work.
Give me Uzbekistan. After watching Turkey play for no reason whatsoever and actually take the U.S. kind of to task, why not Uzbekistan? Why not?
I'll go Uzbekistan too. They got that underdog mentality, I think.
There you go.
Saudi Arabia versus Cabo Verde. Once again, another Saudi Arabia has to win to get into the knockout stage.
Is this Cape Verde or Cabo Verde?
It says Cabo Verde.
Okay, Cabo Verde. Where is Cabo Verde? I have no idea. But we're going to take Cabo Verde for whatever reason because I like green. Verde green. Cabo Verde.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you too. 4 for 4 on the soccer side because we just know so much. This guy, they have to be right.
I am getting a coin. I'm leaving it here for a few of the picks throughout the summer because I have no clue.
All right, now let's move on to the MLB. Got several picks here as well. Cubs and Brewers NL Central rivalry. I believe this is in Milwaukee. Let me double check on that, but I believe it's in Milwaukee.
The Cubs did win a series. Finally, they took down the Mets, but they have struggled against everybody else they have since pretty much late April, early May. I'm taking the Miz. I'm taking the Brewers. Give me them in the series win. Milwaukee. Beerman.
Yeah, Mizorowski actually pitching tonight, and that always means they're going to start this series up 1-0. So I got to go Milwaukee as well.
Not always, but a majority of the time they do.
Yeah, especially that. Like you mentioned, the Cubs, they have just been kind of on an avalanche down right now. Dodgers and Padres, another divisional matchup.
Hard to go against the Dodgers. I mean, the Padres are the same team in the NL West, but only I think by a game or a half a game over my Diamondbacks. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna take Dodgers probably to win that series. They got the biggest payroll in baseball, so why not?
Yeah, my buddy's a Padres fan, so I'm not gonna take the Padres. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers too. Which 6 for 6, we both haven't had any changes.
Yeah.
Reds and Pirates in Pittsburgh.
Now this is a real coin tosser. I'm guessing Skeens is going to throw in one of these 3 games, so I'm going to take Pirates.
I think he might be. Yeah, he's throwing tonight as well. Just like Mizorowski. The Pirates just took 2 of 3 from the Mariners, so I kind of got a little bad blood with them right now. Some beef, you could say. I'll go Cincinnati. I'll switch it up. I'll go the Reds with this one.
I don't think that's a bad pick. They got Chase Burns. They got some guys in that lineup. They can do some damage. Ellie De La Cruz.
All right, then the last MLB pick we've got, Mariners and Guardians, a couple of playoff teams from last year.
Well, I'm going to go with the Guardians. So let's keep this trend going of going opposite directions here. So, Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, the Mariners have been pretty bad the last week or two, but I can't pick against them. I'll go Mariners.
You can't go against those guys.
This is the first WNBA pick we have. Don't know much about the WNBA, but I just found the probably most intriguing matchup of the weekend. We got the Atlanta Dream, who are 12-5, versus the Golden State Valkyries, who are 11-7.
I'm going to take Atlanta.
All right, I'll go the other way. I'll go Golden State.
There we go.
The Valkyries. All right, we got some disagreement. And then the final pick I've got here, UFC. We're going back to the UFC. We'll see if I can pronounce these names. I got Manuel Torres versus Rafael Fiziev. I don't know how you say that.
I'm taking Fiziev, if that's his name. Fiziev. Give me Fiziev.
Yeah, I think Torres is the favorite, but I want an underdog fight too. A guy with nothing to lose. Give me Fiziev as well. All right, those are the picks.
We should have a segment every week on words that are names that are hard to pronounce with Garrett Wellbrock. That would be great.
You could just go down the list of UFC fighters.
Yes, it'd be hard. I don't know. Which one do you know less about, UFC or the WNBA? That is the question.
Probably UFC. I know a little bit of WNBA, like, Kayla Clark and Angel Reese. They've kind of made it a little more popular, but UFC, really nothing.
I know nothing. All right, to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Grady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Royals lose yesterday in Tampa Bay. They couldn't stop Junior Caminero, who had 3 home runs in that win yesterday for the Rays. Did you happen to see, I think they had Taylor pitching on his third one. Did you happen to see that pitch that Taylor threw? I mean, it was like a lob that he just lobbed it in there. And it was so high, it was coming down like this. And Caminero just cranked it off the ceiling. I mean, it was just a bomb that he absolutely drilled. Royals take on the White Sox this week, and I wouldn't feel too good about that series if I'm Kansas City, even though the White Sox have scuffled a little bit and they've dealt with some injuries. Rockies were off yesterday. They open up a series against the Twins of Minnesota. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games are the Rockies. And then we'll have to talk about this next week, but boy, lots of proposed changes to the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA and the Major League Baseball. Have you read some of those things?
Yeah, a little bit. And have you seen the new rule we might have to talk about as well about their trying to ban high school players getting drafted?
I have seen that.
Yes.
We're going to have to get to that as well, but we don't have time this week. We are out of it. For Garrett Wellbrock, I'm Ross Volkmer. We will see you back here on Monday. It's been the Blitz. Have a good weekend.